Good evening, y'all. David Atkins, target individual. Okay, so I've been studying this stuff about the biofield, and this is from Sabrina Wallace. This is some of her information. Now, I'm leaving out the stuff where she talks about religion and all that because I believe, every target needs to receive this. You already know I believe in Christ. I'm a follower of Christ. But anyway, this stuff is about the biofield, and I'm gonna go into what's going on. Okay, where is it being deployed, how it's being deployed, why it's being deployed, and when it's being when the timeline. But I'm gonna do the timeline last. I've really been studying this, been through a lot of agony with these weapons. In the meantime, so I'm gonna read just a real quick Psalm 79. 10 through 12. Before our eyes make known among the nations that you avenge the outpoured blood of your servants. May the groan of the prisoners come before you. With your strong arm, preserve those condemned to die. Pay back into the laps of our neighbors 7 times the contempt they have hurled at you, Lord. Amen. Okay. So I'm going to go slow. And this is some PDF because she shared PDFs. But every time I try to watch one of her videos, it's got her talking so fast I can't understand it. So I found a PDF of her information. So being that I have this PDF, I'm going to read it kind of slow so you can understand. Okay, the biofield. The biofield is responsible for the homeostasis of the body, and this has really answered a lot of questions about what's going on with me, how they're making my body vibrate, how they're making zaps to my brain, how they're making it worse when I close my eyes, how they're making me sick. And I'm going to go into some of that too and talk about myself too as I cover it. All right, what is the biofield? The biofield is responsible for homeostasis of the body, electrical and immune functions, and it emanates as biophotons from the bone marrow, small intestines, and other areas, and propagates outward on the waveform of our DNA. Okay, DARPA's BRAIN initiative is the backbone of the digital ID built from the National Security Agency, monitoring and neuromodulation through cognitive technology. Companies like your insurance provider can log into your body using the telemetry of your biofield based on your veins, arteries, meridians, and nodal points. Welcome to Remote Control Humans. If you're not scared enough already, the Institute of Electronics and Electrical Engineers has humans on the Internet of Bodies, ILB, biosensors, quantum steering, biophotonics, standards for measuring the electrical map of the body's homeostasis in preparation for morphology, transhumanism, living libraries, digital twins, Havana syndrome, and more, which I hate the word Havana syndrome because it's going on a lot more places and been going on a lot before the Havana syndrome ever happened. Welcome to your body area network and its derivatives, WAN, rural radio, and more. Metro, MAN, computer, CAN, local, LAN, personal, PAN, and the nano network. Welcome to wireless tissue engineering and total piezoelectric control of your body. Frighteningly, access to your body's wide open with no security protocols to anyone with Bluetooth application or GitHub software or $45,000 to purchase a remote control to your body. Most horrifying of all, a cornerstone of the fourth industrial revolution is biologic conversion or hybrids or cyborgs. You won't be able to tell these people are purely human or merged at the molecular level with artificial tissues. So, your body is the best antenna, the electronic signal routing system, and the weapon too. Microchips are no longer necessary for synthetic biology at a nanoscale with biometric systems. Welcome to your worst nightmare walking around. And they could be right next to you. Now I'm going to cover where. America has specifically the military-industrial complex. Where is the electronic warfare and transhumanism being deployed? Military complex, industrial complex through DARPA is experiment with super soldiers, augmentation, surveillance, targeted individuals, us, real ID, digital twins of each person on Earth, Internet of bodies, etc., sentient world simulation, hive mind, cloud, Data is uploaded to cloud. This is deep. China was the testing ground for many of the experiments. From America, the electronic manipulation has been deployed worldwide. In fact, it was rolled out to China in the 90s. Since the United Nations is used as the primary implication tool of the New World Order, it's safe to assume EW is available to all electronic warfare is available to all member nations. Department of Defense has already defined the global information grid architecture with specific feeder grids, kill boxes, smart cities built in perpetuation of the air molecules around each head and the biosensors in the biofield. Under Pentagon Directive 3000.09, updated in 2023, first published in 2012, the military is autonomous and declares positive outcomes are not necessary. Welcome to kill boxes. Feeder grids with AI deciding your life or death. And I noticed sitting here, just for your information, just being in this light, oh man, I get shocked just being around light. My brain, my cerebral cortex all the way down is getting shocked at this moment, but I will go on because I promised you this video, and I haven't done really a good video in a while, in my opinion. Okay, why would they do this? Besides the age-old primary motivators of man, power, control, and wealth. The people that control the world tend to be evil people. These controllers want to create new gods and an upgraded human hybrid cyborg. The NWO was agreed upon and chartered under the guise of League of Nations after World War I. It morphed into the UN after World War II, and President JFK signed the Freedom for War Treaty that created the White Helmet Global Police Peacekeeping Force with the goal of global disarmament. The NWO is propelling us towards open borders, digital currency, and digital real ID. Global population stands at around 8 million, which is taxing the resources and homeostasis of the earth. Huge population expansion means more people vying for limited computing power. 13 controllers of the world, Club of Rome, Tavistock, Council 300, have either found it, this says, and you can agree with this part or not, have either found Atlantis off north coast of Horn or Africa and want to raise it, or want to bring it back to the city of Earth. To accomplish that, they're busy terraforming the atmosphere, creating the cyber physical backbone for the processing power needed to work hard and underground to pop and deploy the CIA plan to switch poles and reform the world. We, the people, are the wireless system because they are routing data through us. We are the useless eaters that serve as their slaves, their cyber physical backbone, their playthings, and their food source. These controllers scoff at God and mock us for our faith. By tampering with God's DNA and coding and creation, they feel superior. Their beliefs and systems are the motivations for the evil agenda of transhumanism, bioconvergence, hybrid/cyborg creatures, and pillage of our bodies for data routing. They are trying to block our Creator's frequencies from reaching us. Essentially, everyone has been tampered with on a sliding scale, from hybrids, most augmented, to free-range humans who avoided and tried to eat cleanly. However, no one can avoid metamaterials completely because the air is sprayed, chemtrails, food, GMOs, etc. These controllers are tampering with God's creation, our DNA, by using stenography techniques with our DNA, editing our genetics, and further manipulation with graphene and other metamaterials to prove their superiority over God. How? And I'm going to do the timeline later. It says see timeline above to see how we got this juncture. All right. After this, I'm going to do the timeline. Testing done on the elderly, poor, military, mentally disabled, as well as subjects of communist nations. Our history has been systematically hidden from us and perverted by them. For decades, you have been monitored wirelessly via 802.15.4 biosensors from at least 2 radio frequency sinks near your heart, thoracic duct of your lymphatic system and bladder, cisterna chyli of your lymphatic system, which collects signals from the 5-star steps nodes mapped over your circulatory system acupuncture meridians. Your digital twin is uploaded to the cloud. Your neurons are watched in real time. These biosensors are made with your tissues amino acids, peptides, etc., attached to nanotechnology transducers, which can use your red blood cells and minerals to carry the electrical signals to RF sinks. The RF sinks can act as a conduit to uncouple cells, dissociate fields, collect neurons, mesh with BANs, etc. This system was deployed in the 90s, and since there has been a huge rise in autoimmune diseases, using red blood cells depletes iron. Logging in and out of your body runs electrical signals in an unnatural manner through unique and sensitive biofield, causing inflammation, heat changes, and pressure differentials that disrupt your immune system, about 80% in the biofield, and a doctrine system, about 40 to 60% in the biofield. Welcome to fibromyalgia, lupus, cancer, autism, autoimmune disorders, cancers, Morgellons, and a host of diseases as a byproduct of electronic warfare. Having trouble believing the IEE standards for 802.15 target in your biofield? It couldn't be any clearer than this graphic courtesy of society. Look closely at the area around the human body network. Okay, and I'm going to go back to here. Logging in and out of your body runs electrical signals in an unnatural manner through sensitive biofield, causing inflammation, heat change, pressure. All right, anybody have heat changes all throughout the day? I know I'm the only one around. Oh, well, my girlfriend's a TI also, but I'm just saying we both have heat changes, and it's more than hot flashes. So when they're logging in and out of your body, it runs electrical signals in an unnatural manner through this unique and sensitive biofield, causing inflammation, heat changes, pressure differentials that disrupt your immune system, about 80% in the biofield, and endocrine system, about 40 to 60% in the biofield. This neuromodulation was developed and deployed by Via Black special projects with the assistance or look at the other way attitude of the medical community, sheriffs, local police, lawfare proponents, military, paramilitary, orchestrated by geospatial to Silicon Valley. Anyone in the electrical, HVAC, radio frequency, or user of Raspberry Pi or coder of Python all knew what was happening too. NASA provided the computing power, especially the Jet Propulsion Lab. It's a system of surveillance and reconnaissance and total piezoelectric control because the powers that be have you mapped to the bone, marrow, via biophotons. Look up the Internet of Behaviors, which encompasses bodies, things, industrial, and medical, using body area networks, 6GO PAN, synthetic biology, via graphene for starters, as a cyber physical backbone. Your neurons are watched 6 days in advance and modified if necessary to their desired outcome. You're monitored and controlled via sensors, open system architecture, and modular open systems approach using 6GLO. PAN RF signals that are Bluetooth enabled. Anyone with expertise could sense or detect or jam the signals. This back and forth communication interferes with your natural human biofield response. The military currently has a 5G linked drone swarm for intel collection called Osiris. Marine Corps, helicopters, AT&T, Southern Bell, and Percy has 5G linked drone swarm for intel collection called Osiris per C4ISR September 2022. When they want to bypass IP protocol, they also have ISIS or intermediate system to intermediate system. I know these are big words, that's why I'm trying to go kind of slow. The coders write the apps for Zigbee and Bluetooth have been using K-hop routing based on heat, fenestration of the biofield, and active data collection built on carrier and collision waves. It's open short path first. In essence, your body's become part of the computer networking model of open systems connectivity. How? Technically, we the people are now beacon enabled, swatted with collision avoidance. There's also non-beacon enabled mode called unslotted, CSMA/CA. It's wide open, off-the-shelf biohacking based on neural networks, your neurons and your biophotons too. All this surveillance is controlled by ISR, L3, Harris, and Raytheon per C4ISR. It's an applied signal technology in phase 2 of development called Hades, the god of war, or high accuracy detection exploitation system, which is a multi-domain sensing system. The system is globally deployable with longer ranges and higher altitudes in the capacity requirements. It's SOSA and MOSA per the program executive PEO of electronic warfare, based on sensors using the W-band band 802.15.5, 0.15.6, and 6GLO PAN. You are the network. The system's causing repeatedly inflammatory responses and subsuming your immune system to uncouple / download, upload anything they want electromagnetically in your cells. Every time DARPA deploys a gradient wave, you suffer with pain. Sound familiar? Does for me. This is utter piezoelectric molecular control to the bone marrow and wireless tissue engineering. This is autonomous and mapped via the telemetry of your biofield. This was built by taking away fundamental and ancient knowledge from our sciences like biofield, frequency, oscillations, somatics, optics, radionics, and plasma from us. Circulation of the cerebral spinal fluid creates new biophotons every 30 days. And this is interesting to me because they took fluid from my spine last year, and they was in my spine 2 times for 30 minutes at a time. One of them said they wanted to put fluid in to do a CT scan, and they said they had to take fluid out to do a thing because they said I had an infection of my spine. Okay, but they were in there 30 minutes both times, and it hurt like crazy. Circulation of the cerebral spine fluid creates new biophotons every 30 days using technology described above. Your biophotons are siphoned off. You essentially act as a battery, constantly recharging monthly as your biophotons get depleted. Battery, antenna, weapon, and wireless transmission station are just some of the ways the controllers take full advantage of you with unfettered access that you did not approve. Since the entire system runs off your DNA, it cannot just be turned off. That action would turn you off as well. Speaking, am I saying the only way they can do it is by DNA? No. Speaking of fluid, researchers are now using liquid neural networks as AI algorithms that adapt to new data inputs. How is the data collected and used? Radiating the air from above, using a drone, or manipulating the ground below with CERN, ITER, tokamak, MITRE, and neutrino arrays. You are part of the ambient cognitive C-band. Also, anyone taking SSRIs is routing data better than the unmedicated mind, hence the astronomical rise in pharmaceutical drugging for mood emotional disorders. It's ubiquitous, persuasive computing. It's a closed neuronal loop. It's synthetic biology, morphology, and genetic engineering. It's transhumanism. How? Metamaterials is the answer. Metamaterials are substances not normally found in nature. For instance, graphene is created in a lab and 1 atom thick, so it's considered 2D. Graphene's been found in food, water, chemicals sprayed in the air. Once a 2D graphene metamaterial merges with a 3D human, the results can produce a 4D organism or a hybrid. The materials have smart properties by the precise shape, geometry, size, orientation, and arrangement. Metamaterials result in metasurfaces via process of polarization, steering, absorption, fizzing, and filtering of frequencies to create an altered phase. Focus or custom of electromagnetic field outputs. The powers that be are finalizing field or brain imaging library via radio modulation, thermodynamics, and biophoton manipulation, or it's synthetic biology, genetic engineering, combinational synthesis employed with DNA encoded solid phase synthesis, nanotherapeutics, modified polynucleotides, radioactive iodine, super paramagnetic, human embryonic kidney. I know I'm getting way deep there. So they have you mapped and manipulated, mind controlled in every way possible, and sell it as regenerative medicine or life extension. Optogenics appears to be the final frontier in brain behavior control and modification. It's biophotonics, spectrography, optical coherence, opto-array, all done via electronic warfare. It's biosensors reflecting back like little mirrors or lenses throughout your body to be read, monitored, adjusted, and controlled with optics and lights. There are even optical tweezers to affect somatics. They can manipulate you via LED lights in your home, car, and work. Every time I'm around a bright light, I start getting shocked, start getting hit very hard, vibrating, which you call it electromagnetic sensitivity, dysregulated nervous system. It causes all that. Obamacare created death panels designed to parse out care and determine whether you live or die based on a scoring system. It's linked to the genetic and medical data to nations worldwide for your health, of course. AI will ultimately take over these decisions as they have everyone mapped out and connected. The powers that be want you fat, still, lazy, drugged, and obedient for their data processing needs. If you step out of line or don't follow their rules by gaming, taking of digital entertainment, or using social media, you're in future danger of AI selecting you for elimination. Meanwhile, there are hybrids and super soldiers that have augmented themselves with metamaterial and soft robotics. They can further augment themselves by using Rydberg atoms to access quantum databases in AI, rendering them enhanced and almost invisible. There's no longer free will if the controllers have you monitored constantly, because if you make a decision they do not approve of, they can log in and change your cell state, lock you in a feeder, grid, smart city, use electrofog or smart dust to get the desired results, or bioelectromagnetically elicit a desired outcome. The controllers use the chaos and changeable dynamics across the energy spectrum using random matrix theory math. They already know what you will do before you do it. They can use perturbation of your cells with sound using fractals to vibrate you somatically. That's what I go through all day, vibrations. Your kill box expands to the next kill box, and so on, a worldwide decision prison. It's a scalar function controlling gravity and time. Nobody should have their light stolen. Nobody should have tasers sewn in their bodies, which can burn you from the inside out towards your skin. Nobody should have their digestive system, hormones, immune system, and circulation, etc., monitored for cytokines or any of that. And I'm debating. All right, I'm going to go ahead and just do this. Okay, so when did all this happen? And I'm going to give this timeline, and I'm going to finish. This 6,000-year-old death cult has controlled Earth since the time of the Anunnaki, which, if you know about them, approximately every 300 to 500 years, we are due for another reset around Agenda 2030. However, the controllers sped up the timeline using illnesses, if you know what I mean. Look at all the disclosures of future technology in movie, television, video games, etc. SABRINA feels we'll see a die-off in humanity in the late 2023-24 with airships for the Brain Imaging Library, 2025. As for technology advancement and deployment for EW, electronic warfare and transhumanism, here's the timeline. 1600s, 300-year plan developed to dock the 4D with Fermat discovery of Langland quantum encryption, considered Rosetta Stone of math. Late 1800s, nanotechnology was invented. Yes, I said it. Late 1880s, my bad. 1903, neuromorphonic chips purchased by banks. Hybrids to disembodied spirits. 1922, humans connected via telephony. 1953, Predator MQ Reaper. 1954, gravity mastered per Dr. Stephen Greer via 750 plus whistleblowers over 30 years. 1956, biosensors developed. 1960, Langland's equation, 300 years old, given as a basis of cryptographic protocols, security, and cubic equation. 1968, RFID chippings of humans rolled out via medical implant communication system, our planet. 1969, Project Salus brings us AI, heads-up display, and quantum research. 1972, heart attack gun for Library of Congress. 1975, ASILMR conference on recombinant DNA, decision made to all synthetic biology. 1976, biologic toxin, Army Research Proving Ground, UT Edgewood Arsenal, MD, and Fort Detrick. 1980s, quantum computing companies, corporations, signature reduction force, white vans given vocations with benefits, local logistics get N2 and N3. 1990s, library access with NIST and NASA, brain-to-brain is given to people inside Congress by 1995. Non-invasive neuron exchange. 1993, Greer as a private contractor studying UFO phenomenon, exotic technology, whistleblower technology, etc. 1994, Rwanda neuromodulation. 1995, wide area body network, W-band online. 1999, synthetic telepathy via WordPress on the back end, and it was developed long ago. Synthetic telepathy I've studied it. It was long ago. It's been out. I don't know why it was put in this order like that. 2002, MAC Internet routing for network engineering. 2005, 802.15.4 biosensors made of analyte DNA, RNA, peptides with logins via NASA corporations, vendors, and companies. 2005, target individuals in Havana Center if possible with 2.4 with W-band. Now, am I saying I know target individuals has been targeted longer than 2005, so it depends on what this person was meaning with her definition of, I guess he's talking about Havana syndrome, which I don't even, because this stuff, I think that's wrong because this stuff's been going on longer than 2005. NIST defines biophotonic tools in cells and tissues in 2007. 2007, digital twin in the global information grid architecture. 2008, synthetic biology rollout. 2009, kill box defined. 2012, open shortest path first. 2012, MRI leaves hospital. DARPA free to watch us. 2013, biosensors embedded. IEE defines ban. 2013, wireless drugging of our seniors per FCC via nano antennas. 2014, B2BI is commercially available. Brain-to-brain interface, what B2BI means. 2014, segmented sensor networks by organ mesh routing map with industrial, scientific, medical, ISMI, RF bands using human body connectors. 2015, Jade Helm military exercise. I was actually a subject in that, a test subject, and went through some stuff during that exercise in Springfield, Missouri. 2016, information teleported on chips. Kubernetes, OpenAI, Microsoft, OpenAI. 2017, nano slaughter bots controlled via AI. 2017, graphene cyber physical backbone, Black Awakening. 2017, Internet of Things, online, smartphone, barometer, gyroscope, accelerometer, magnetometer, proximity, light sensors, GPS, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GSM, CDMA, cell, near field communications, cameras, and touchscreen. Now, Internet of Things are online, and then smartphone, all that was in parentheses because smartphones, all that was out way before that. 2018, we the people get connected to the cloud. Okay. 2021, Amazon shipping services given mesh hybridized networking ability. 2022, UN digital ID. 2023, Internet of Behaviors comes online. Okay, from Soul Catcher PDF, November 1996, advertisements for the Soul Catcher implant chip, which is Personal Computer World explains will be implemented behind a person's eyes and will record all the thoughts and experiences of their lifetime. Dr. Chris Winter boasts to London's Daily Telegraph. This is the end of death. By combining the information with the record of the person's genes, we could recreate a person physically, emotionally, and spiritually. So they think. Some of that I disagree with. September 23rd, 1998, Professor Kevin Warwick becomes the first known human to communicate with machines via microchip implanted in his body. Afterward, he admitted, "It does make me feel that Orwell was probably right about Big Brother issue." October 15th, 1998, the BBC reports on bionic brain implants developed by American scientists. Over several months, the implant became naturally wired into the patient's brain as neurons grew into the cones and attached themselves to the electrodes mounted inside, the report asserts. September 5th, 2001, ABC's news journalist Nicholas Ragush warns that mind control could be on the horizon. On the bright side, the powers of science could be used to mend broken and diseased brains, he says. On the dark side, there will be plenty of opportunity to tinker with consciousness, control human behavior in menacing fashion. May 1st, 2002, an ABC report entitled "Scientists Develop Remote Controlled Rats," described as the DARPA funded project wherein rats, each wired with 3 hair-fine electrical probes to their brains, are directed through remote control by an operator typing commands on a computer. May 10th, 2002. A family has microchips inserted to their bodies on national TV to acclimate the public to the idea. August 15th, 2002. During the height of the summer of the abducted child, the Philadelphia Inquirer runs its front page story on the new high-tech approach to child security, the chipping of children. March 7, 2003, an article in Kansas City Star features University of Kansas professor Jerome Dobson, a respected leader in the field of geographic information technologies, warning that GPS technology may lead to a form of geoslavery, which could make George Orwell's Big Brother nightmare look amateurish. You wonder why you threw your phone away and all your electronics and everything still happened. I experienced that for 2 months. Everything still happened. They got you to the grid. They don't need that cell phone. Can they use it to attack? Do they use it to attack? Do they use it? Yeah, but they don't need to. You don't have to. If you could throw your cell phone away and everything would still happen the same way it's happening now. Okay, March 12th, 2003, and I'm almost done. The BBC runs an article entitled Scientists Develop Brain Chip, which states that U.S. scientists say a silicone chip could be used to replace the hippocampus when the storage of memories is coordinated. The testing began on rats and rapidly proceeded to monkeys, which will ultimately be conducted on humans. June 2003. In a few months, researchers at the University of UCLA will test the world's prosthetic brain part. Popular Science assert crediting to Theodore Berger with creating a 2 millimeter wide silicone chip that he hopes one day will be substituted for damaged or diseased brain regions. Potential military uses for the brain chip, which was partially funded by DARPA, includes building sophisticated electronics and integrating them into human brains to possibly one day lead to cyborg soldiers and robotic servants. June 2003. In an article published on DARPA's website, Dr. Alan Rudolph explains how the agency's brain-machine interfaces program will create new technologies for augmenting human performance. And I think I misplaced page 14. And so I'll have to cover it. It says April 14th, 2004, the Associated Press blasts the headline, FDA approves brain implant devices, citing benefits to those with physical impairments and brain disease. And let's see, hold on, I think I do got it here. I do got it here, so I can finish it. Brain disease, and Richard Anderson notes that surgeons already implanting devices in the human brain, sometimes deeply, to treat deafness and Parkinson's disease, and says, I think there's a consensus among many researchers that the time is right to begin trial in humans. Time magazine covers 1971, The New Genetics, Man and the Superman, 1977, The DNA Führer, Tinkering with Life, 1984, Shaping Life in the Lab, The Boom in Genetic Engineering, 1994, Genetics, The Future is Now. 1999, The Future of Medicine, How Genetic Engineering Will Change Us in the Next Century. 2015, The Gene Machine, What the CRISPR Experiments Mean for Humanity. Scientific American cover. 2018, Progress and Controversy, Genetic Engineering, including sections on gene therapy. Second Act, RNA Revolution, On and Off Switch for Genes. It's been in our faces for decades in every waiting room and grocery store checkout lines across America. We just failed to notice. The CIA director, Gus Hunt, in 2013 stated, you're already a walking sensor platform. He noted that mobile smartphones and iPads come with cameras, accelerometers, light detectors, and geolocation capabilities. Hunt also said it's really very nearly within our grasp to be able to compute on all human-generated information. And I guess only real TIs or people really interested in this stuff and wondering what's going on in our bodies and that know something ain't right would really listen to what I just had to say. This is serious. She has her own ways of dealing with stuff and solutions, and I'm thinking about going into them tomorrow. Some of them you may not agree with, but I think it'll be fair. Well, I'm still debating on whether to put the solutions because, some of them, might offend people because of their beliefs. I technically keep an open mind, but there's certain limits I go to for solutions. And so I just try to keep certain stuff out of my videos because I know there's all different types of people watching this, all different types of target individuals with all kinds of beliefs. And I'm not one to judge beliefs or push my beliefs off on nobody. So I may just, and then I don't want to be accused of trying to steer somebody wrong, and try to turn their beliefs somebody or try to pervert minds of a believer. I'm a believer, but I'm just saying, you get into all that area when you start putting religious stuff and religious opinions or spiritual opinions. Even it's a real touchy subject. So is politics. That's why I don't discuss politics on my channel, because it's not worth it. It can cause dissension and curb listeners, and I don't want to curb listeners because I want to get this information out there to what's going on, and hope like hell that there's a way that one day this will all be exposed and there's a way to contain this monstrous atrocity that's going on all around the world. And if you think you're not hooked up and can't become next, well, guess again, you can. So it's not good enough just to sit out and say, well, it's not happening to me. Why should I care? Well, you should care, because eventually, just wait and see. Like I said, I hope not, and I pray not. But I'm afraid we're already there. So we need to stand up for human rights and say we do not consent. Thank y'all. Have a blessed day.